Hello, hello, good morning, and welcome to Feedback Friday Art Edition, morning, afternoon, evening, or night, whatever time it is. Hello and welcome. Welcome to the stream. I have more greenery just kind of invading the camera space, but I enjoy it. So, hello. How's everyone doing today? So, yes, we are doing an art day today. It's not going to be a particularly long one. We actually have work meeting every last Friday of the month, and it turns out that this is the last Friday of the month. Uh, it doesn't feel like it, but it's one day off from not being the case. So it's going to be from 11 until 2 that I'll be doing. Thank you, Michelle. That I'll be doing the stream. So I'll have an hour for lunch before the meeting begins. So it's going to be a bit of a shorter art one. I do not expect to be able to get through it today, especially since I was trying to work on some concepts yesterday. Didn't really like any of the ones that I had come up with, so today is going to be more of a kind of like let's figure out the design together. Hopefully you can share your concept ideas, what you think would be fun. Yeah, so let's see. We're gonna be just kind of scooting ahead, trying to get as much done today as we can. So I'll let you know what trap we're gonna work on. And it's a new kind of very popular trap, and is severely lacking in trap skin. And I think some of you might have guessed what it is. It is Chrome School of Sharks. So a new kind of like very, very good trap. Um, However, due to the way that the trap skins work, anyone who is upgraded into this is well aware that they no longer have all the cool trap skins that they used to. So I figure, you know what, Halloween's a really fun event. Got some good, awesome potential. Let's give it something fun for people to switch to if they want. So basically, what do you think would be a cool concept? What would you like to see for a Halloween trap skin for the Chrome School of Sharks? Uh, yeah, no, feel free to share any ideas you have. Um, I had some that I was kind of toying with. I'm not sure if I want to go with those, but one of the kind of themes we'd be messing around with in this Halloween is kind of like using some gothic pewter kind of design sense in areas. And it could be fun to like take this chrome metal and maybe downgrade it into pewter, but kind of giving that carving and that kind of like oxidized, maybe it's not oxidation that causes it, but it has those kind of dark uh, crevices, and you know it can be quite interesting details and embossing and stuff. It would be a not a short one to work on, and we certainly wouldn't be able to really get very far with that today if we went that route. But it would kind of match the same aesthetics, but have kind of like different details throughout, and probably a different kind of overall color scheme, much more kind of like muted down and kind of darker, probably not the rainbow laser beams coming out. But yeah, RGB sharks. Orange and black racing car. A world serpent. That sounds intense. Just a fishbone, just like a single fishbone, just kind of floating in the water there. Terminator shark. Actually, that's kind of a fun idea. Like give it the red eye. The whole like chrome living chrome thing. It's a pretty good one. All right, deep sea fish inspired design could be fun, like with that kind of like just the big jaw and the like that light lure thing, or like other kind of crazy deep sea creatures. Those would be fun, but I feel like that's not necessarily Halloween feeling. Um, laser pointer robots. A UFO Sharky. Nice. Warhammer 40K inspired. Just kind of, yeah, like give it like a bunch of skulls just kind of slapped around on it, and all kinds of ridiculous over the top details. X-ray sharks, a Lego shark. That would be fun. I don't think that we have the rights to do that. Just a surfing shark, like it's like on surfboards that it has eaten the riders of. Goldfish, just a goldfish. I mean, it could work for Halloween because it's just dressed up as a goldfish or something. I had this fun idea where it's like, you know how you get those costumes for pets? Like you would have like a little Halloween outfit for your dog, and it's just like a cute shark that just kind of goes over top of its head. What if it was like a shark wearing a shark? I don't know. That might be weird. It might just look like a weird plushy shark has eaten the Chrome School of Sharks. That could be good. Scarecrow sharks. That's kind of neat. Like giving that kind of like threadbare kind of stitching and stuff like that. I like that. That could be fun. Yeah, making it gothic, black and orange. A big turtle would be cute. I think well, I guess that's the original School of Sharks had a skin, I believe, where it was kind of like sea friends and stuff, and there was like a cute turtle and stuff in that one. I like that one a lot. Skeleton shark with heads inside. Ooh. Submarine shark. That could be cool if it's like an actual kind of like vehicle. Jellyfish dressed up as ghosts. Oh, that's actually a pretty clever idea. I like that. Just like it's like the blanket ghost style, but then it's got like the jellyfish tentacles coming in from under it. An aloha sharky. Octopus costume. Yeah, it could be that it's costumed up. That could be a lot of fun. Yeah, Scarecrow would be very thematic. Candy corn costume. Actually, yeah, does this look like it could be made out of candy? That could be neat. School of Jacko Sharks. I don't know, like we have a lot of jack-o'-lantern themed like designs, I feel like. So I'm gonna skip on that one. It totally would work really well though. What determines if a mouse gets labeled as blah 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 mouse? Example, white mouse versus herc. I get that for bosses or longer names, it's more thematic, but what about the ones like Skyglass, Glazer, Mouse? I'm actually not certain what determines that. I think whoever's implementing it can basically, yeah, honestly, I don't know what determines that or not. It could be when it's like plugged in, the name it is actually written with mouse, but I don't know. I've never actually looked into that detail. That now I'm curious about that though. So good question. Save that for next week when Dave's on. A submarine dressed as a shark is actually quite a fun idea. That's not a bad one. Because we got the whole costume thing, or vice versa. Shark dressed as a submarine. Okay, that's even better actually. I kind of, how to display that though? That's a challenge. I'm trying to think of how you do that. Like to make it obviously a costume. Now I'm just thinking of like a shark dressed up as a hot dog or something ridiculous, right? Also, that could be fun. The Kraken shark, Cthulhu style with like tentacles, be fun. Frankenstein Exterminator X Shark. I mean, that sounds like an incredible movie. I'm in. All right. Must have a space-themed chrome SOS trap. Laser from spaceships. Yes, I'm in. School of Jello sharks. Yes, jellyfish dressed up as ghosts. I think there is merit with that. That's fun. Could be a nice quick one to do too. Oh, centipede shark. I don't want to make it like creepy. Like, okay, I'll show you some of the sketches. Bleh, I don't like them. And these. I'm gonna go from like the worst ones, and none of them worked for me. But this was just kind of like skeleton shark. One of the things about the Crow school of sharks, or rather just the like the big boy upgrade sharks, their proportions are pretty wonky. They got very large noggins, so when you like break it down into more of like a skeletal form, you're like, that's a very large skull. Um, Interesting. So that would need to have proportions really changed. I don't get how shark skulls work. I've looked at a bunch. They're very weird and a lot of differences between them. So that one's a lot. This one is just very creepy. Very Beetlejuice kind of vibe with the like just mouth forever. So probably not that. I don't think people would like that as their kind of like, yeah, I have this on my homepage all the time. And I tried to get the proportions a little more comfortable. Still not liking that. This one I kind of like the shapes going a little bit more. I would need to adjust stuff. I didn't know where I was going with the body. Again, this is just kind of like, I'm not sure what I'm doing. This one is where I'm starting to kind of enjoy it. It's creepy cute, right? Got that lamprey mouth, but it's also like it feels like kind of like not the like big bad shark boys. So I don't know if this fits with kind of what we would expect for a skin for this route, right? But it's kind of cute. Yeah, vacuum cleaner. Just kind of Kirbying all the mice up. Yeah, looks like a sucker shark. Yeah, they kind of have that kind of suction teeth mouth thing going, don't they? And then what was this? Oh yeah, it's kind of going for like I don't know, a half pirate shark thing. That's kind of fun. It's kind of like a little more dressed up as something. And I also just wanted to kind of like explore kind of like this shape. I was kind of imagining this could be more of that pewter with kind of like the imperfect kind of casting of it, where there's like lots of bubbles and kind of like the surface isn't perfect. And then essentially, there could be kind of different kind of designs kind of hammered into it or etched into it or whatever. So I didn't really feel any of those too strongly, but I don't know. I think that there's some fun ideas already in the chat that I would like to give it a shot. I'm gonna get my time lapse going. I had a time lapse set on this file, but it was from like the original shark drawing plus the Chrome version of it. So like when it was auto-saving the file, it was taking forever. So I was like, oh right, it's got like a whole bunch of this kind of like pre-recording on this file. So I reset that just now because I don't need the video to have all that, and I need to actually use these videos. Otherwise, what am I doing? Okay, so let's see. A cookie cutter shark. It just has kind of like a mouthpiece that is like it just cuts out specific shapes out of flattened dough. Lamprey shark? Yeah, is that what those are called? The suction shark? Just a black hole of a mouth. All right, yeah, pirate shark could be cool. Yeah, exactly. If we go pirate shark, actually, I think that could be pretty fun. Giving it more kind of like bling and stuff. Like, I don't know, it could have kind of like let's see, what could we give it? I almost want to give it a musket. little, like, just kind of, you know, just a blunderbuss, but for the hand. What were those? I guess just, I don't think you can tell what that is from that angle. It might be better to switch, right, this layer. So it could be, like, I almost want to give it like a rapier on its belt. Okay. Let's see, how would I do that? I'm just trying stuff out. I don't know if I'll go with this at all. Today, it's going to be a shorter stream today. We're only going till 2. So I think, honestly, today is probably just going to be like doing sketch explorations, and then like next week I'll actually render this. So you won't get to see kind of like the final version of it. That'll be kind of a fun, like, ooh, I remember what we came up with for an idea, and like, look at where it ended up. That's cool and great. But like, what if it had just kind of like this kind of, I don't know, silly pirate musket style thing? I don't know how to draw these. Like, just gun. Shark with gun. And, I don't know, to make sure it's clear that it's like a pirate, I guess it should actually have an eye patch. Because, you know, what self-respecting pirate wouldn't have an eye patch, I guess? Should it just also have a beard? It should probably also have a beard. Okay. I mean, pirates aren't required to have a beard, but like, just thinking about kind of like, can we make this the most like ridiculous, I guess, costume? Because I like it still being this idea that it's a shark dressed up. Also, what do we think of kind of like not using the base kind of like actual chrome design? Because I kind of feel like, well, you know, if we're gonna just dress it up, it might be better to dress up the chrome version and just kind of like add, you know, decorations on top of this version, as opposed to redrawing the whole thing and re-rendering it as something completely different. It would also be more efficient. But yeah, when I was kind of initially working on the concept, I basically was kind of thinking of it like, oh, I'll completely change the design, give people something totally different to use for their trap skin. Because you use the chrome school of sharks quite a bit, so I figured that, yeah, I don't know. Oh, by the way, also, anyone who's watching this as a recording later, I should remember, hopefully, to let me make sure the time lapse is going. Cool. In the last like 5 minutes of this recording, if you just want to watch the time lapse of this come together, should be able to jump ahead to the end, where it should just be whatever we did today is just kind of like sped up real fast, and I'll try and kind of like, you know, give a kind of rundown of what we went through that day. But yeah, otherwise, hang out with me. If you're just watching, feel free to just kind of lurk and hang out, or join in the chat and throw ideas my way. I definitely want them. Let's see, the monstrous mutated shark, zombie pirate shark. I think I might have missed a few. Hang on. Give it a pirate hat, of course. Brilliant. Needs some, yeah, pirate bling and a peg leg fin. Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. All right, yeah, pirate hat for sure. Yeah, I think going pirate theme, just dressing it up, could be a lot of fun. Let me see what people say about using the chrome base. Um, Colorful, like the gem shark. It could also we could go a totally different direction. We don't need to go dressed up as a pirate. This is just kind of like today we're exploring. We're exploring the space, seeing what we think is going to be fun and what people would want, right? Let's see. A propeller hat. Just that's it. It just has like one of those prop hats. There you go. Regular trap. Otherwise, I like it. Should do more of those. Just have a whole series where every trap just has a silly one thing just added. All right, let's see. Still catching up on chat. Deathbot leg sharks. Saw shark. Oh, those are cool. They have like weird teeth and a line. Yeah, parrot on its shoulder under the water. I love it. Sorry, no spoilers for upcoming event. Maybe with Dave. Yeah, the eye scar instead of an eye patch. I don't know. I with the original kind of like chrome, I could show both. We already got a scar going here though. Flying Dutchman skin for the Halloween event, please. Okay. Ralph likes keeping the chrome base with chrome added, yeah, or costume added. I mean, giving it a chrome blunderbuss. That's a good idea, Dallas. I like that. All right, Royal Chrome Navy for defeating the Halloween chips. Yeah, Anglerfish Shark. Oof, that would be pretty cool looking. Those things are wild. And then yeah, like the M400 kind of like design. That could also be like I like all the ideas in that. I'm butchering everybody's name. I'm so sorry. But that's a really cool idea. Yeah, like giving it that because the M400 specifically has this kind of like. I think I was inspired by like I don't know iRobot or something way back. I just thought that the kind of plastic, kind of like translucency was a really neat kind of combination with kind of like nice metals. Just I love painting and rendering textures and interesting surfaces. So having this kind of like really neat looking futuristic plastic combined with metal is just a fun thing to render. But doing that, but making it an anglerfish would be pretty cool. And honestly, the way that this kind of like shark works, that actually would translate extremely well into an anglerfish. It almost already kind of has that going for it. So if I just kind of really, let's see, I should probably actually pull up reference. They're very weird looking. Now, I don't know if we'll go this direction again. It's very creepy looking, so I don't think that people would be too happy if it's very creepy, right? But I wonder if I could make it not creepy. Probably not. I doubt it. I'm not very good at not making things creepy if it could potentially be a creepy thing. So, okay, so they got like jaws that like angle up, which is pretty wild. And then, you know, teeth forever. Just terrifying teeth. So, yeah, just based off of a profile of this, I already hate it. In terms of just like, no, this is too gross. But it's not going to get any better. So I think it would be like a really, really good design. But I almost want to make sure there's other options before we go this route. But this is probably something I'll try to go for at some point. And it's also like a good trap skin, but I don't know if it necessarily feels enough like Halloween, right? I mean, it certainly could easily be considered that due to it being, you know, horrifying. But yeah, I like it. It's neat. It's kind of cute. If I kind of like made those teeth a little bit less creepy and I kind of worked these shapes a little bit more, I could probably make it a bit cuter. A little tiny smidge, just barely cuter. It's a very uphill battle. Yeah, I think it would require making the teeth very blunt looking, which is doable. Like giving it like massive chompers instead of those like needles is kind of a way to accomplish that, right? So that's kind of okay. I think the key to giving it that like gnarly mouth feel is giving really unproportional teeth, like really kind of some very short and very long ones to kind of give it that like, this is a ridiculous mouth this thing has, right? But making sure they're not terrifying looking needles. Okay, so that's not so bad, to be honest. Kind of enjoy that now. Okay, something along those lines could work, especially if we give it like a big dumb eyes. Again, it's kind of adding to that less threatening, kind of more derpy vibe. I think you need to make the jaw like do more like that to give it that kind of like deep creature feel. And I think as well, just kind of like really making that jaw pronounced. Also, if it's like a shark, I want to give it like rows of teeth. Not that it necessarily makes sense for an anglerfish, but also with there being too many teeth, I wonder if that also helps with it being less like gross to look at. Probably the opposite, to be honest. It's probably grosser now. Yeah, I want to soften basically any angle that I can to kind of make it less threatening. So, not sure, but that's not terrible, to be honest. Maybe the overlapping teeth isn't as good looking. Okay, so that's not so bad. Oop, didn't mean to hit that combination of keys. Yeah, creepy, but still kind of cute-ish, maybe, hopefully. It's fun. I kind of enjoy this now. I might be more interested in this angle. And then, yeah, do we want to keep exploring this? Do we want to try a bunch of other sketches today? Just kind of do a bunch of exploration. Actually, kinda. So, you know that I'm kind of at least enjoying the design if I'm like talking about moving on but still working at it. So that's good. I kind of like how stumpy it is too. these fins, no sharp edges. Alright, I should probably actually look at the chat, see how much you all despise this horrifying monstrosity. Alright, too creepy. Some people love it. Dressed up as a dinosaur. Okay, I'm still behind on the chat. My goodness. Alright. Pirate on the dorsal fins. Yeah, I want to go back and do a little more pirate exploration. Dressing up as a dinosaur is very cute. I like that. Yeah, M400 School of Shark Skin one. That could be done. We could do that later. I don't think it would be a good Halloween one, but that could be a fun design later. Maybe we do something cool with that too. I don't know. All right. Creepy is fine. Not everything needs to be full comical. You're right. I think with so few trap skins available for the Chrome School of Sharks, I would not be opposed to making sure that it's a little more accessible to most people, though, because I think some people would be like, I'm uncomfortable with this image. You know, if it's too creepy, it would be like I wanted more options. You know, so I don't feel like, you know, yeah, I don't want it to be kind of like uncomfortable for people. Yeah. Just have it eating candy corn. Can't be creepy while eating candy corn. Yeah, the needly teeth look better. It's way creepier and more, you know, scary and bleh, but I don't know. Teeth can't overlap like that, though. Oh boy, let me tell you, I got teeth that overlap like that. Now, can it close its mouth? Doubtful. Not more cute skins. Too many of those. Okay, okay. We can do something in between. This is something in between. All right. Halloween should be creepy. Yeah. Okay. Gilded Chrome School of Shark Skin. That could happen. Obviously not right now. Having human teeth would make it funnier. Oh no. It would actually be even more unsettling than the needle teeth, I think. I think that would be much worse to look at. I would be like, please give me a terrifying monstrosity, not human teeth on some fish thing. Please. That is just way more terrifying than anything, I think. Yeah, that would make it horror. You're correct. Candy stuck between the teeth. Anglerfish with green mist. Yeah, that could be fun. All right. Okay. So I actually enjoy this. I think we could make it really cute and still like good Halloween material, like good and creepy, but like still not terrible to look at. I think we can do that. So we'll put that to the side. It's a good fallback. Let's do a couple more idea exploration. So there was a very fun idea of kind of like jelly ghosts, I guess we could call them that, where it's like you have kind of like the usual kind of like, I was lazy and I just took a bed sheet and now I'm a ghost idea, and then just hide that. Yeah, I guess it doesn't need to be super duper hidden. But then having like, you know, let's see, jellyfish tentacles. I mean, they're probably pretty obvious in what they look like, but actually, we have this kind of like frilly kind of rotating ribbon looking texture to some of them. And I mean, we don't need to make it like super realistic, but it's kind of a fun idea. If we, that's a whole other one we can attempt, is just like a ghost sheet on top of the regular chrome, but like it just has like a laser hole blasted through it. That's also fun. So I want to try that now too. Yeah. So like this would actually be very uncomfortable to run into. Just like jellyfish already are like, avoid that. That would not be fun to encounter. Beautiful, but do not run into one of these, please. Yeah, so that's kind of fun. Kind of fun. Let's see, I could just turn off School of Sharks. So, yeah, I mean, that's another good point, is it isn't the School of Sharks, right? This is a fun idea for like its own thing, right? Making it a jellyfish is just kind of like, I don't see the visual connection. Like thematically, okay, I get it kind of. But all the other skins are very much kind of like, oh, okay, we take that same shark shape and like replace it with something interesting, but it's still that same, you know, layout. So that doesn't really work. It's a really fun idea though. But what I think could work is basically we take our, you know, School of Sharks, yeah, and then just like, I guess, I don't know how well it's going to work, to be honest. But like, put like, you know, a sheet over it to like, okay, no, that's actually like extra creepy now. And then it just has this kind of burnt out area where the laser is just blasting out of. And then here, let's see, I can duplicate this up here. And let's turn that off. And let's just do a clipping mask real quick here. Wow, I'm uncomfortable. Okay, and then I imagine that there'd be, you know, holes cut for these weird triple fins, and even the rockets. Yeah. Okay, so this is an inefficient way to kind of put the bed sheet on the shark here, but bear with me. All right. And we could change the laser color to be like orange, you know, just to make it more Halloween-y. So it's so disturbing looking. I do not like this. This is also very uncomfortable. It'd be pretty quick though. I'll give it that. Almost want to give it like, let's see, merge this down. Almost want to give it like a flower kind of pattern or something like that. A floral print sheet, just so that it's like extra obvious. Eh. Yeah, that's a good point. Really good point. It would actually be very transparent because it's wet. And it would just be sticking to it a ton. Like, it would actually be just, like, vacuum wrapped onto this thing. So, geez, this is suddenly going to get very complex. Didn't even think of that. But very good point. Okay, so this, I'm actually going to maybe even have the spikes ripping through. Does it feel like a ghost anymore? Probably not. But yeah, that's a whole other kind of like element about it is if I did like the jellyfish thing, it would just be like kind of wrapped up in it horribly. Jeez. This is suddenly getting way more complex than I anticipated. I'm like, ah, yeah, that'd be really easy. Foolish. Foolish idea. Okay, but like, I almost need the backdrop to be darker to like even make this kind of like work, right? Yeah. It could be quite a bit darker in parts and like wrinkling around stuff. I don't know, suddenly it's like not as silly and fun. Maybe. I don't know. What's interesting is you could get some really like good rendering tricks going on. Like where it's clumped up, you would get more kind of the actual material, you know, occluding the light, or keeping it from being translucent. And then you'd get a lot of like wrinkles and shadows going on in there. So it'd actually be kind of fun to like figure it out, but I don't know if it would be very like obvious even what's going on with it. Like, how do I show that this is kind of burnt through? Maybe not too hard. Like if there's kind of like glowing stuff, that could shine through in an interesting way. How like it really depends on so many things for doing material like this. Like what kind of fabric is it is a big deal. You know, if it's like a really flexible fabric, you're gonna get a lot of like wrinkles happening. Because it's just really wanting to just stick to everything. And where it's kind of like angled towards us, we're going to be seeing through it pretty effectively. But where it's angled away, I don't know, like this doesn't look like a sheet ghost anymore, you know, like it's pretty far from where I would end up with it. So, you know, there's that whole grain of salt. But yeah, I don't think that's working. It'd be very interesting to get right. I think that could look really interesting and fun and cool. Very difficult. Not that that's ever stopped me from wanting to try something, but I also don't know if it's kind of like the end result I would want. Just make the orca skin available for the chrome school of sharks. Miss it so much. It's a very good one. I agree. I am kind of like working on making that something. Hopefully, maybe one day. It's kind of not on the priority list, but I think it'd be really great to be able to kind of like use trap skins with different traps that they weren't kind of originally made for, at some kind of, you know, cost to the user maybe, or like way to earn it. That kind of thing could be a cool way to do it. Again, nothing in development about that right now, so I'm just kind of like working on some ideas that I think could make that a possibility, so maybe we'll go that direction someday. Robot Unicorn Skin. That's a good game. I enjoyed that. Always I wanna be with you. Alright, let's see. The Angler looks awesome. Yeah. Candy corn. Yeah. It just becomes Gengar. Yeah. It's funny, but too bland. It could be. With the sheet ghost. Alright. The other two would be in different costumes from the sheet ghost. That's a good point. And maybe it would be easier to get the sheet ghost on like the one in the top right. You know? Because there's kind of like much smoother, cleaner shape. That could be easier. The one in the middle could be the pirate. One in the background, unicorn. Why not? That might be a way to do it. If we have a bunch of different, or that could be the Angler one. That could work. Just dressing them up as things would be, I think, the way I want to go now. Now that I'm looking at this more, now that I've played around with it, what if we make one of these just a hot dog? We could just make it a hot dog. It's obvious. Yeah. Oh no. Shark and fish netting. Spikes may not rip through. The sheet would be balanced on the top of the smoke. It spikes. Smooth line across the tops. Yeah. I mean, that would kind of like create some really interesting dynamics. Yeah, goldfish would be a fun one. Yeah, the wolf in sheep's clothing. I think something where they're dressed up is actually really fun. Oh, good day, mites. All right. Leviathan rerun. Okay. Anglerfish was giving some Mad Outer Wilds vibes. That's the like exploration game, right? I always get like there was another game that came out with nearly the exact same name. I played both of them, but yeah, I think I know what you're talking about with that vibe. It's a good game, very cool. Let's see. Not the Leviathan skin, but more Halloween-y. Could be. All right, skeleton pumpkin. All right, let's see. Yeah, some of the skins on non-best traps are just too good to ignore. Yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I really want to explore that potential, because I think there's so much good art that just is buried, you know, and being able to like use that would give each player a little more kind of like personal autonomy on what their design looks like, their setup. So hopefully we do end up kind of going in a direction where you can do more of that. That would be really nice. Plus, it would allow me and the other artists to kind of like create trap skins for like old traps that, you know, are classic and beloved, but like why would we ever be able to make a trap skin for those and no one uses those? So like being able to kind of like diversify that would be really cool for being able to do that. Instead of always kind of like feeling obliged to create trap skins for the most current content. Which, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I think it's still good to do. So I wouldn't really change that too much, but a little more, you know, potential for, and again, for like newer players who have these traps and they are using them, but there's no new interesting trap skins that exist at all for them. It could give more potential to that, which is cool. All right, so let's see. Could be all trick-or-treating, dressed cute to hunt. I like it. All right. Let's see. Main one can be a pirate. One directly behind can be the anglerfish, and yeah, the ghost on the top right. I think let's try that. So this one being the ghost, honestly, would actually be pretty doable, and we could have that whole like, you know, interesting kind of like translucency, and at the same time kind of like having all the interesting kind of wrinkles and stuff. And I almost wonder if it should be like more like this, where there's just kind of like a tiny mouth cut out right here, and then to make it more obvious that it's just like a ghost. Because if it's the whole mouth open, I don't know if you can even see what I'm getting at here, but hopefully it'll be clear soon. Let's darken that back here. This kind of helps show the texture as well by like stretching the kind of like, because what would happen underwater is as it opens its mouth and the water is pushing it back, and like it's wet and clingy, it's gonna like do this like interesting kind of ribbony looking kind of a thing here, which hopefully I'm kind of like giving a sense of. And then, you know, we'd get some kind of like specularity going on here perhaps, but then on like the inside through the mouth hole, it'd be quite, you know, dark in here. There's not much light actually kind of getting through perhaps. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of good and creepy looking. And then we'd even have fun stuff like, oh, there's still, you know, these LEDs lit up and glowing through the fabric. Right? Which could be a lot of fun. And we could color them all, because you know what? If they're LED sharks, they can set their own color to be thematic. So we'll just give them all orange. Now this might be distracting right here. It might not be clear why. Why is there this weird glow right here at the nostril? So we'll maybe end up tweaking that, but yeah. So I think that this might be a good way to kind of do the sheet ghost here, right? And then kind of like being able to kind of have these wrinkles kind of like really kind of angled with the momentum. So you can see this kind of like pulling and stretching taut at the front where it would be pushing through the water. And as that surface curves, because it's a flat sheet, it's going to basically dart itself into these kind of wrinkles that then spread off. So that's, I'm thinking this is a way better one to use for the sheet ghost. And then we can kind of like have, you know, this laser kind of, you know, hitting that surface and lighting it up. But then because we have these wrinkles forming, it's also kind of like getting a bunch of little wrinkles here and there, casting shadow onto it. And again, we're going to go kind of like more of this orange light. So we'll have that kind of like influencing the shadows, because it's going to be like a bright light that's going through it. It's creepy, but maybe not too creepy once you kind of like see what it is. And if I can kind of like render it well, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so I'm thinking this is good sheet ghost material here. darken that there. Again, we'll have kind of like these wrinkles kind of like coming off of the actual change of the surface. Right? And as the surface kind of like angles away from us, we're going to get Fresnel happening with the kind of like the steeper the angle, the more it can reflect. And as a wet kind of like surface, it's going to be reflective, right? So the environment around it will kind of like come into those edges of things. Overall, it's going to be darker on the underside of this. Yeah, so something like this could work pretty well, I think. I almost want to give it a glowing eye just for that. I don't know if the mouth is like too clear yet. Maybe we actually like just duplicate this. Maybe we actually do kind of like have it be open. Just try that out. Just kind of have it perhaps shred it up a bit. Maybe it started where it was like just a tiny hole, but as it's been wearing it and chomping through its adventures, it has just chewed its way through. So that I think works. We'll have some kind of like going into the mouth. Why not? Caught on the teeth here. Snagged itself. So that just at a distance, it does kind of, yeah, okay. I'm seeing sheet ghost. There's still stuff to kind of like make work better, but it's doable. Not terrible. Okay, so that or that's very creepy. Also creepy, but I think might be easier to recognize, I guess. I just don't feel like this mouth is reading at all. If I lighten up around, it might make it more obvious. Yeah, it's okay. It's kind of fun. All right, just kind of make sure that eye stands out. Either work for me. And I think, yeah, we would also kind of have that, like, it burnt a hole through the costume here as well. And then changing the, let's see, let's try this real quick. What would happen if I just colorized this whole thing to be like orange? Colorize all. What does this do? No, I probably don't want to use that. Let's see. Edit. Tonal correction. Hue and saturation. This is just going to slide everything at once. Okay, I don't want it to be that. Do tone curve maybe, and then just kind of take out the greens or the blues. I pull down the blues And then the greens. It's going to give us more reds and oranges. This is probably the wrong way to do all this. Very much the wrong way. To forgive me, I don't tend to do this stuff. So now we're... Okay, not that. That's not what I wanted. I could just do a layer over top of that, clipping mask, give it orange, and then make that a hue, and just kind of pull that down a bit. Kind of gives it a sepia quality, and then we can kind of like tune that even further. So we got kind of green. Yeah, it kind of works. It's not ideal. Maybe color. Okay, that's a little more. Okay, it's kind of got that autumn coloring, and then if we do the same thing, but like make the lasers just pure orange. Now the saturation, or not the saturation, but the value is kind of a bit wonky because of the way different wavelengths have kind of like different value times. Yeah, basically anywhere there's kind of like an LED glow, if we make that kind of like more intense orange, that could be interesting. This alone could kind of like make it feel a little bit more seasonal. And just kind of gently overall. Kind of like a bit of that purple in there still, though. I don't want to make it too monotone. So let's try going a little bit to the purples for the shadows. That's very intense. Let's use my Color Blast. This is a fun brush. Okay, so we'll go right here in the reds. That's way too wide of a color range. Lower that to being really narrow. So like, okay, I should do this as a different layer altogether. All right, let's go hue. Let's drop that down. Put this above everything else. It doesn't need to be dropped down that much. Hello? Here we go. Let's put it to 100% just so we can see what we're doing. So I'll actually show you what's going on with this brush real quick by unclipping it. So I have a very textured brush, and it has it's set up to change its brush tip color with every stroke that it does, right? And I have it set so that the actual like color variation is quite low, so it stays close to the color I've selected. So that's kind of neat. If I crank that up, we're going to get like a whole rainbow of colors, right? So what I can do with this is, on a separate layer, I can just kind of paint into where the shadows are with kind of like a little bit of a variety of colors. We'll go with 41. I'm also going to shrink this down a bit and just basically paint over. I'm going to go a little more purple. Paint over the shadow areas, and this will just kind of give it some interesting kind of variety. So now I'm clipping it to the actual sketch here, although there's like some shadow stuff going on here, so it's not perfectly clipped. But then if I set this to hue, it will really only kind of play with the actual color, or the hue specifically, of the the layer it's attached to, and that's quite intense, so I'm going to turn that down. In the end, it's a very subtle kind of thing, but it just kind of gives it a little more interesting kind of quality to it. So, done. This, turn that down a little bit. This is the lasers. It's probably okay like that. We'll probably tweak the lasers because, like, look how dark this is. It's very muddy. You know, that's not a very good laser color. So what I might do is see if I can do I guess brightness. Probably not what I want. Let's see. What would be a good way to handle this? Saturation. Because it has like a lot of just black in it. It shouldn't. I think I just need to repaint over it a bit. I might just repaint the lasers, to be honest, because I want to probably like get yellow on the inside and kind of like just nice saturated bright orange on the outside, right? This at the top. And that'll kind of create a nicer kind of like laser feel, right? All right. If we even want this one to have a laser active, maybe we remove its laser for this design, especially if it's got a pirate hat. Okay. Thank you, GR Reaper. Hope you're enjoying the dulcet tones of Jacob voice and in the background keyboard clacking. All right, let's see. I need to catch up on chat again. Okay. Shark and chips, dressed up as a fish and chips meal. That's fun. I think just kind of decorating them is going to be a lot of fun. Cool. All right, so let's see. Oh. All right. The orange nose lights could be the eyes of Ghostface, adds an extra layer of intrigue to the skin. It kind of does have a face to it. Oh, I like it. Let's see. Well, why is that erasing? There we go. I don't know if this is going to work. It could be confusing, but it's also kind of neat. What if the front shark's head is tilted to the left side instead of the right side? That would require quite the redraw, but it would actually create a nicer looking design, I think, because let's actually give this a flip, because this puts it into a perspective probably a lot of us haven't seen for a while. Hello, Pika. Cat decided to just kind of claim my lap. So here's an idea. Let's duplicate this. Actually, I could just, no. I'm going to duplicate this, but first put it into a folder. And turn off these beams. least this one. I just want to explore that potential. This might be a bad way to go about this, but I'll try it. Alright, so I'm actually just going to merge these down. I should have done that from the start. That's fine. I'll work with it this way. Alright, merge these together. Merge selected layers. Cool, cool, cool. And this is probably way more effort for something that I will probably be like, this is too much work. Let's go some other direction. But now I'm kind of curious about changing the angle of this and apparently just removing its laser. Sorry, shark, you don't get the laser today. Okay. Apparently I needed to remove the laser to kind of like try this. Now what are we accomplishing with this other than making it more difficult? I'm not sure. So there. That's all that's what I got apparently. No, I mean what we can do is kind of move this like that. Honestly, if I were to draw this over, I would actually probably tilt the head to the side more, just because I feel like you can get a nicer looking shape to the face, or at least kind of like make the face work better. I would actually even elongate it more, be more like that, kind of like that pointier nose. Oh yeah, there was another idea that I thought was really good, which was kind of like a Scarecrow, kind of like making it stitched together, looking straw man kind of thing. So that's another one we could do. Could even do it with the front one here, and maybe make the back one the pirate or something like that, right? Let's see. Not sure what I'm trying to accomplish at this moment. Yeah, now that I've done this, I kind of feel like, oh, this is actually how it should be. Even just for this set angle that we already have, it just feels better. We could try making this the like Harvest Reaper kind of looking skin. So I like the shark, ghost shark. This one's kind of like got some really interesting rendering potential with the mouth here, and I think given enough effort put into it, it could look really quite interesting. Mouth open, could probably do the same kind of techniques and stuff, so either work for me. This one might be clearer for people, which is good. And then, so if we did a pirate one, we could do it for the one back here. And that might be good, because then we could do the eye patch thing a little easier. By like making very easy to see, like, aha, it has an eye patch, therefore shark equal pirate. Nice and easy. Its eye, kind of in a weird spot. Now I'm looking at it. It's like, what happened to you? Who did this to you? It's like the mouth is either misaligned or the eyes are just kind of offset. So we'll just cover that up. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And then instead of this kind of like torpedo, we could give it that little kind of like pirate blunderbuss thing that I mentioned. The pirate pistol. Summoning the shark. All right. Let's go back to the actual skin up here. I should probably move this up here, at least. Easier to kind of reach. I'm going to hide all these old sketches. I think I'm going in this direction. So let's just hide old sketches. Put this down here. Sure. Just out of the way. Oh, nope, I did not include. Where are you? Here you are. Okay. This doesn't need to be in its own folder anymore. Okay, cool. Whoop. Didn't mean to move the old sketch. All right. Sorry about that. Now, it's a little easier to jump around the different layers that I need to. Here. Cool. All right. Probably don't want this to be that dark. Because if it's that far away, the kind of atmosphere of the water is kind of going to interfere. I don't know if this is feeling like an eye patch enough. Yeah, it's probably okay. All right. Let's give it a pirate hat. A good old tricorn. Or maybe not the tricorn. Maybe we don't go that way. We do the, this should probably work. Ooh. Autosave. I don't know if that looks very good. Maybe we do kind of the flat style. Maybe it just needs to be like pirate kind of symbology on it. Only it shouldn't be like this kind of skull. It should be like a set of pirate jaw or shark jaws. You know. Something like that. I don't know. I don't know if that works. Probably not. Shark jaws. Give it the like the fringe. I know this. All right. So, I don't know. Don't like that hat. It's just not working. Okay, so I'm gonna try it. We start with a flat disc. Right? And then you have 3 points, and these each fold up. And pin to the center. And then you put teeth on the side. Because I don't know. Okay. I don't feel like that says pirate enough. Just slightly more, I guess. Without hat, still kind of more piratey. I don't know. This one's weird. Do we give it a rapier? a scimitar. A pirate on the shoulder. A blunderbuss. Saber. That's the word. Hook. Yeah, oh, that's what it's really missing, is like the missing limbs aren't missing. Yeah, so one of the fins should totally be a hook. Guess I can just work on this layer. Should it be this one? Or this one? I feel like this one should be like a peg-leg style peg fin. Made it as some driftwood. All right. It might be hard to get that to read as wood from a distance, but that might be okay there. Yeah, and then definitely has to have a hook. Don't know how I selected that. All right, so this one, let's give it a hook. And, you know, we're going like as generic as possible with this kind of like design, which is what it should be for a, you know, a Halloween costume, right? I mean, honestly, it should probably be like an anchor or something fun like that. Let's do that. Let's try something different. Instead of a hook. What are you trying to catch fish? No, we're sharks. A mere hook is nothing to us. Or should the tail just be the anchor? How do you swim with this, good sir? It is very difficult. All right. Anchors away. So I'd actually lighten this up. It's tonally too dark for how far away it is. Jumping all over the place with these layers. Okay, that's kind of fun though. Actually, I enjoy this. Oh yeah, gotta have like golden earrings and stuff. Don't care for the anchor, like the hook better. Fair enough. Let's see. Can I do like a snapshot of this in case we want to go back? Guess I could copy. Oh, cancel that. Copy that, and then undo. Oh, we got one for anchor over hook. Wooden oars instead of the peg leg is also, yeah, like if we're going for an anchor, I think wooden oars. Yeah, so here we have kind of like the hook, right? Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm thinking the anchor is more amusing. Especially if we do the oars. I think that's actually a really fun idea too. Sorry. I can't go with every idea, otherwise it would be actually impossible. But I mean, the hook is way more obvious and traditional, so it would actually probably work better in terms of like being recognizable and feeling very pirate-like, but we're also creating something unique here, right? How many sharks are dressed up like this? Okay, hopefully this is clear that it's an oar. I think it was the oar idea that sold me on like being like, no, it's got weird sea, different kind of like versions of hooks and stuff. I like it. Very silly. Very good. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Let's see. A little water sip. I mean, I want to use this skin just for this shark alone. Maybe I did it wrong. Maybe it should have been the one in front that's the pirate after all. Okay, so what did we actually want to do with the front one? Oh yeah, the hoop earring. Hoop earring on the tail. That's a good idea. Good. All right. Let's see if I can get. This would be interesting. Gold underwater would probably get a lot of greens and stuff in it. But if we're trying to go for a very kind of fall palette, let's see, yeah, Scarecrow in the front. I think so. I'd say let's try that out. I think that could work pretty well, especially with having it close enough that you can see the like stitching and that kind of detail. And then like these kind of, fins could be, interesting stuff kind of bursting out of the stitches or something fun like that. We could do something pretty wild with this one. Alright, so let's see. Okay, we can't go too dark. Ooh. Autosave. Wondering if I even like the positioning of this. Should be more like that, the bottom. If it's an ear, maybe closer to the edge here is better. I think that works better. We'll round this out a bit more too. Make sure it feels more like a hoop. Fairly contrasty. Knock that back a ton. Okay. With that, where that kind of like slice in the tail is, it actually kind of lines up a little too perfectly, so I'm just gonna get rid of that completely. There you go. It feels a little easier to understand what's going on with that now. Underside of this could get a little bit more like reflecting. There we go. And a little bit less kind of color, I think, in general. A little bit of color is good, but I'm supposed to be looking at this from like really far away through murky water, so we're definitely gonna obscure that. Okay. There we go. It feels a little better. Yeah. I think that the ore does read clearer than the peg. That's true. That's good. That's what we want. Okay. So move this up to the pirate props so it's easier to understand what we're doing here. Unfortunately, the ore is drawn on the actual pirate, or the shark layer, not the pirate layer. That's just kind of how I had to do that. That's okay though. We don't need to preserve the original drawing. We have that on a totally different layer. I'm thinking we'll just get rid of these bubbles here. Alright, let's give this an actual save. So I think we've made some good progress. shadows and darks and stuff for the shark back here, I think I'll adjust. But for now, I'd say let's jump to the main shark here because we have an hour and 20 minutes remaining for this stream. I'm thinking ghost shark, pretty solid. I think I know what I want to do with this. I just need to kind of like decide what is better. This is like fun and could be very interesting to get right. And if I do it well, look really neat. So I'm definitely going to explore that. This might read better, and I can probably get similar effects, which could be fun. So this lad here, do we want to convert it into like canvas, like the whole thing into kind of like Scarecrow texture? I think so. I think we want to try, especially with like all the kind of like overlapping here, the burlap kind of, you know, potential there is pretty good. So how to do this? Let's see. Go on this layer. Gonna knock that back, and we're gonna just start with a little bit of kind of sketching to see how we might tweak some of this. So the teeth we could leave relatively the same. Pardon me, frog in my throat. But I'm thinking for the actual body of it, it could feel more stuffed, right? With these kinds of seams sewn across it. Like really big, messy stitching on it or something like that, right? We might get rid of the rockets. Now this one's probably going to be a little creepier looking. But I don't think it's going to be like I think it's going to be spooky Halloween, but not like weird, you know, human teeth level, kind of like uncomfortable to look at, right? Like if it's like haunting and kind of, you know, spooky Halloween, that's fine. But yeah, like needle teeth, it's just maybe a bit too much. Okay, so then have kind of like some stitching around the front here, and then like little button eyes or something like that. And then for these kinds of fin type areas, just having kind of like straw bursting out, right? It's kind of cute. The rockets being gourds. Totally. I make it a little bit more kind of just cute. Not that it needs to be cute. But it's the harvest shark, you know. Get a nice summer squash going on here or something. Okay, I think with this one being the close one, getting some fun like detail elements in it is a good idea. And drawing vegetables strapped to the sides of its head is not a bad way to do that. They help with my buoyancy. And then just kind of random straw poking out here and there. For the actual fins here, we could go for something like a sickle or something like that, right? Now, would we want it to be facing the wrong way? Seems kind of odd, right? It kind of like feels more like the direction of the fin, but also kind of illogical if we were to use this to reap things. So I'm thinking it could be a scythe. Sickle might work better. Yeah, let's try sickle again. Scythe is almost too big. Now it feels like the pirate hook that we tossed out before. So I guess we're getting that back anyways, in a way. Listen, just gotta harvest our crops. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I agree. It does seem kind of odd. Just goofier is better. I like that. Just kind of, it's just stuffed with straw. Or maybe seaweed. Maybe it's actually seaweed. We'll see when I actually get to rendering this what I think looks good. Because ultimately I'll kind of like be like, I don't like how that looks. It just doesn't look interesting or read well or whatever. And kind of go with that later. Yeah, honestly, I think the straw is kind of more fun. Now, does it have the weird like 6-fin action, or does it just kind of have more like traditional shark? If so, I'm gonna move this back a bit. straw teeth. A broom handle instead. Could be. Needs more evil. I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying how like fun-loving these sharks are. Honestly, with just like brush broom teeth, that's gonna be disturbing. Well, I guess there's whales that kind of have that going on, right? Maybe this is where we get the candy corn going. And it's candy corn teeth. Ne'er was there a more fearsome beast of the sea. The soggy straw shark with its gummy teeth. It has such a sweet smile. It's kind of cute. I kind of like the straw teeth, although also horrifying. Yeah, kind of creepy. All right. Some original elements should be kept to make it obvious it's a costume. That's true, because we have been really kind of transforming the creation, right? Originally, the concept was like, oh, let's dress them up, and now I'm like removing fins and replacing them with parts and just like this whole thing. So how do we feel about that? Like what we could do is kind of like have oh, here's the actual fin underneath this stuff, right? It's kind of like clearly, hiding what it actually is, and so like having some of the actual chrome teeth poking out and stuff like that. With the ghost one, I think we can pull that off. And yeah, the shark one, sorry, the pirate one is closer to just being dressed up. Ish. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. So we have an hour. Let's see. How do we feel about this? I think this is the direction we're going in. I do enjoy this kind of straw burlap shark a lot, actually. I think it's quite cute. Get a little bit of lumpiness to it, I think is good. Like it's being stuffed, right? Be able to do that in the rendering a bit better. Get some could have some straw poking out between various seams if we want. Kind of like it being like a bit worn down, repaired. And so it's got like a patch here. Kind of reminds me of some of the what are they called? The word is like on the tip of my tongue. The things, the gills, gills. Some creatures have like the these kind of like almost tendrils coming out of their gills. I guess helps with oxygenationing. Eh. Listen, I'm not a biologist. Like axolotl, I believe, have those. Now, the gills being all the way back here is kind of odd, but that's kind of what you get with this weird world, I guess. So I'm allowed to excuse my bad designs, right? Okay. Yeah. So how to kind of like have the chrome element still show through is the question. You know, I think as long as it still feels like the creation, it might feel like it's dressed up well enough. Like what I was originally intending for this one in the front was, here, let's just try something really quick, was to just like really kind of like do something ridiculous over the top of it, like, I'm a hot dog shark kind of thing, you know. Look at me. A little thing of mustard, ketchup, you know, like that kind of thing, just like dumb costume, right? Also still totally viable, right? Or like the shark in a shark, or the submarine shark, or whatever. Like, I kind of want to try the shark in a shark. It's going to be a bit weird to do, but I kind of want to try that. How would I do that? Kind of like, you know, something dumb like this. It's fun. Sharkception. Or the goldfish is also a really good option. Let's try that real quick. All right, I'm going to do a goldfish. Let's see. Get a reference for a goldfish, because they can look pretty wonky. Okay, let's try this. probably going to do a really bad drawing of one. Especially since its mouth would have to be like, whoa, huge. They got like big old bodies. And I don't need the mouth to be that weird. Probably better not to be. Go for cute. Okay, and then we could have kind of like some scales or something like that to really kind of make it look pretty. And they got those like puffy cheeks sometimes. Kind of like it being derpy. Okay, let's try getting. Fins. Now, right now it's covering up a bunch of stuff in the back. I've probably changed the shapes of things quite a bit to account for them a bit better. Maybe not do the tail thing quite the same. Kind of prefer the fins just barely poking out, or maybe even tuck them in. Like it's just kind of like got its own fins tucked into the costume. So just hide them. He's just wandering the seafloor being like, I look so glorious. Look at me, I'm beautiful. And then, yeah, get some, like, pretty gold and stuff going. Actually, okay, so what I want to try is, let's see if this will work. Like a gradient, cool. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Just hiding this. All right. And then on top of this one, I'll do a glow dodge with oranges. Just kind of. I kind of enjoy something like that. It would look more, you know, figured out than this, but it's kind of funny. Kind of like that. Mermaid costume. Human head costume. Oh no. That would be also very creepy. An excellent, like, mouse costume, though, is dressing up as the hunters, the humans. Certainly would be the most horrifying thing to dress up as for the mice. For a hunter's trap, however, kind of think that that would be an interesting choice to have. Yeah, I feel like mice dressed up as humans is a good one. They've done that before too. Derp human mermaid costume. Perfect. It's perfect. Okay, so there's the goldfish because it's so delish. It's fun. I kind of enjoy that. Like that's definitely one direction we could go in. I enjoy. Maybe get more like pale underbelly. Goldfish shark. It's disturbing. Yeah. Cute. And I don't know. What do we like? Scarecrow goldfish shark. Suppose I could do the coloring behind this just so it's easier for us to see what's going on. Also, with this like burlap, wet canvas, whatever material, kind of like, how would that act underwater, you know? Questions. Both good, but like the Scarecrow better. Do both. I mean, I might be able to make both work, but that is just a lot. There's a lot happening in this. I mean, we could also, if we don't feel like the pirate one is really working as well, make that the goldfish. But I like making it very obvious how the it's like a goldfish eating a shark kind of thing going on. So I always forget about this little one down here. That could be a goldfish eating a shark. I think that could work. Even just kind of like changing the profile a bit to make that like really obvious. There's no reason we couldn't kind of like sneak in a fun little detail like that on these kind of ones way in the back. And being able to see that and read it might not work so well, but okay. Scarecrow shark. Yeah, the goldfish is not as seasonal unless it's like really obvious that it's like, oh, these are all very costumed up characters, right? Which, you know, I feel like the other ones do give that idea, I hope. But yeah, I think that the Scarecrow is definitely more seasonal. Goldfish attack. Oh, it's just so cute. I kind of like it. I'm doing a skin with this at some point. Don't let me forget. Just the hungry goldfish. But yeah, it doesn't feel Halloween. You're right. You are right. This is not very Halloween.
It's not.
Ooh, thank you. I'm definitely saving this for later, though. Don't let me forget about this. It's too good. Okay. We'll deal with that later. Yeah. We'll figure that one out. Probably not Halloween, though. As fantastic as it is. Okay. Saved. Goldfish. Yeah, I could try. I'm thinking I'll try to throw the goldfish on like this one back here. I think we'll still want to do this. It's frozen. Uh-oh. Interesting. Curious. Right, let me look into this. Let's see. Doesn't seem to be reporting any issues. I wonder what's going on. Back now. Okay, Not sure what happened there. Maybe people might need to refresh. No longer frozen. Good. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know what happened. That's very weird. Alright, well, we have 40 minutes remaining. I think we've definitely figured out some good stuff, though. Alright. Where did we get frozen? Did we miss adding this little friend back here? I was also curious if we think that kind of adding the goldfish here kind of spoils us from doing it as a future skin at all. Not sure. I don't think it should. So I don't know how well this works anyways. I don't think we get the same effect, right? Where it feels like it's like very clearly one of the sharks getting amusingly eaten by this giant goldfish. Not that that's actually what's happening, but it's kind of the teeth. It kind of works. There you go. That size, that's pretty good still. No, it's foreshadowing. Perfect. Perfect. Good point. You are quite right. Alright. I enjoy this enough. We're going to keep it. A carp would work better for Lunar New Year. Oh, yeah. I like that. Yeah. Doing like beautiful like koi, but they're just like koi costumes for it. Yeah, I think that'd be really neat. Definitely do that. I'm sorry, I'm having too much fun with this. Hey guys, wait up! Wait for me! It's really hard to move in this costume. Alright. Good fun. Now, let's see. So the burlap should be interesting. Finding Nemo movie. Alright, let's see. So, the back fins here, I almost want to just hide those. I feel like they might distract. I'm just going to use a clipping mask for now, in case I decide I wanted to bring them back. Although with the whole shadow thing up here, that kind of makes it a bit wonky to do that. So I'll just... get rid of all the shadows, I guess. And bring that back later, maybe. Might help the like sheet ghost to read easier with it kind of like blending into the cast shadow though, so that might be okay. All right, so what is this? Oh. Hessian? Hessian? I don't know. I've never heard of this word. I guess I just think of it as canvas. That like really thick weave, right? But I feel like a really thick weave like that in water would kind of like, you know, keep its properties a little easier than just kind of like thin fabrics, thin white, kind of like linen or something like that. So it's still going to get quite dark though, I would imagine. Let's see. There's probably a good texture brush, to be honest. Clip Studio has a lot of like really good kind of like materials that you can kind of use, so I'm going to actually attempt something that I don't tend to explore. Okay, so we have a bunch of brushes that I've imported actually from Photoshop. Some of them anyways. Let's see, Texture Bristle might be... Oh, he's got that good old triangle brush. Probably not what we want. Let's see, okay, so... Skin buildup. Actually kind of works. It's a little bit kind of like blended granite. Nope. Super triangles, definitely not. Okay, skin overlay. I think it's more pores. It doesn't really work for because it came straight from Photoshop, so you need to actually tweak some things to make it work. Smudge brush is not what I want. Texture bristle. Yeah, it's a good kind of like rendering brush, but not what I want. I want like an actual texture. Tapered watercolor, rough wash, textured blender, and that's a blender. Watery brush. That's not. Okay, thick inks, watercolor stuff, blender again. Those are all smudges. I don't actually have like textures and stuff imported properly. Let's see, material brush. This might be stuff. Sorry, I'm working like off on the left side and it's all covered. So nope, not quite. I know there's like texture kind of like overlay things probably. I just haven't really messed around with any of it. Materials. There you go. Do I not have any? Oh, I need to import these from the asset store place. Probably not something to do on stream. Probably not. Alright, there's a whole bunch of tools that I've never explored really. Okay, well, I'll maybe mess around in that later, but for now, let's just use... Maybe the dust brush would actually work okay for this. That's actually not terrible for just kind of like giving some texture to this. This is a very old brush that I made. Dust cloud. Okay, so oh, it's got like a nasty mildewy look to it now. Perfect. We'll probably want to go quite a bit warmer in spots. But like this is giving it at least some kind of, you know, texture that I think works for Scarecrow. Scarecrow. I feel like the straw should be on a separate layer instead of this base layer here. That would actually make it easier to work with later. So should I just cut it out? No, I'll erase it and then repaint it a bit cleaner. Alright, let's see. If the straw is yellow or green for seaweed, may brighten this. Yeah, that's a good point. It could give some good contrast and help with the readability of it. So I think that's a pretty solid point. Seaweed might be too distracting. We'll try straw to start with, I think. I think that would be the good way to start this. Also, these gourds, I would imagine, would be on the straw layer. Cut that out, though. There you go. Oh, no, that's fine. It's okay that it did that. Just need to move it above. There we go. Deselect. Okay. So this will be our straw layer. Let's just kind of start with a simple straw. And I'm going to put this white barrier so it's a little easier to see. Let's see. I'm going to try and not have too much sharp kind of edges to the straw. I suppose it doesn't matter. I just don't want it to be like weirdly tapered. It's like it should be pretty set thickness is the thing. Might be a good way to adjust that brush size. Turn off pen pressure for now. So now each of these should be a consistent width, no matter how hard I press. And that might create a nice kind of consistency. And the fins up here, we'll have kind of some bigger stalks. Some of this is going to be underneath the fin, some of it's going to be on top. Ooh, it's weird drawing without pressure sensitivity. I really never have this turned off. Quite strange feeling. Okay, so that's getting stuffed. Perfect. These will be thinner because they're further away. The ones poking out, I don't necessarily want them to be super long. But again, that kind of like idea of the gills. Having that kind of like, I don't know. It's interesting, you can really see how I kind of like set the pen down. Like more consciously pressing with consistency. So when I'm kind of doing it how I normally do it, it like kind of gets like a weird wobble at the front of the line. All right. And I'll mix and match all over the place. I don't want to go too crazy with the straw right now. Especially since we're running low on time. Okay, it's farthest away really, so this should have the smallest straw. But it's also kind of like where a bunch of it's going to be poking out. Yeah, see these hook ends? That's just because the way that I like initially start a line kind of, it's an interesting, yeah. I guess it doesn't matter when I don't have pressure or when I do have pressure sensitivity on. But if it turned off, I have to be like way more careful. Okie dokie. Now, this is weird. The ones way back here should be quite a bit thinner, actually. Too used to just constantly changing brush size. Kind of forget that I'm trying to create like a hierarchy of thickness. Honestly, the ones at the front might be too thick. that sketch down so I can see it a bit better. Ugh. Weird, like, potato with, like, crazy overgrown eyes, you know? Oh, yeah. All the stuff at the bottom on top of the base being candy. Solid idea. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to kind of like really sketch that in, but I don't want to forget that idea. Also, do I erase this to do the mouth, or do I color in straw here? I think I color in straw. Hey, don't eat my muffin. Excuse you. Yeah. This is not for cats. Not for cats. I'm trying to eat my pumpkin muffin. What layer is causing that? Okay. I have a good way to make sure I don't forget. Oh, it's weird not having pressure sensitivity. I gotta turn that back on. Whew. Not that it makes my line work any cleaner. In fact, it's less clean. Candy pile. Gotta have the candy corn. Maybe a soggy lollipop. That's the horrifying thing about this, is just like, imagine this candy for real though. Just like on the ocean floor after all this time. Just soggy and mushy and falling apart. Gross. Alright, so I'm gonna get the straw in the mouth. And then we're going to try and kind of do any final quick details that we want to figure out before wrapping up the stream. Because, I mean, the candy pile, brilliant. I think that's perfect. And perfect timing on that. Because I would not have thought of that before closing stream. And I'd be like, what should I do with all that down there? So good call. I think one of the elements that I'll want to try and wrap up is like, do we feel like we're creating costumes enough on these? Do we care that much about it? But real quick first, I'm going to get the straw for the mouth, and I'm going to have to turn the sketch up for that. Mouth. And then, like, button eye thing. And I think I'm going to have to just kind of... Ooh, that's not the color I wanted. Here we go. Gonna paint in the mouth. Might have been easier to just erase it out, but come on, autosave. You know, I'm frustrated when Photoshop does that, but I don't even feel like it's auto-saving. This is why it kind of like hangs constantly. It's like when I hit anything with the control key, it just freezes. And for even longer than that, and like at least for Clip Studio, I know what it's doing. I know that it's just kind of, you know, because I'm doing a whole kind of like screen capture thing, It's just capturing that for me. Okay, so I probably shouldn't be doing this layer like this. I should probably have the mouth hole behind the straw and then the straw layer on top of that. So I'm going to cut that out, throw it behind the straw layer, and just not do that, do that. Hello. What's happening? Interesting. I don't know how I actually managed to do that. Oh, I did a copy, that's why. Okay. So get rid of that. Fill that in. I thought I just like did something amazingly brilliant without knowing how I did it. But instead I did a dumb thing. It's fine. Alright, cool. So I'm gonna try and wrap up soon because I still want to do the playback of what we've accomplished today. For everyone who's tuning in later and just wanting to watch the recap of it. And also, I did that on the wrong layer again. Also, I'm painting this reversed. So when I flip it correct to the correct way, candy piles can be spelled backwards. This is great. Okay, so cut paste is what I wanted. This goes down here. That merges. There we go. Okay. Deselect. Freeze. Ready to file. There you go. Okay. I'm going to save. It's doing a lot of autosave, so I'm kind of thinking maybe a kind of a hard save is a good idea. I have lost some progress before.
Hello?
So,
Hello? You're actually awake? Oh,
second. I might need to switch.
I don't know, she's sleeping.
Hello? Okay, I switched my headset. For anyone who's wearing their own headphones, sorry about the weird channel balance. Hang on, let me see if I can fix this. It's still doing that. Larry reward before I wrap up. You're right. Okay, I probably shouldn't waste any more time messing around with this, but I really want to see if I can just manually balance it. Audio. I should have fixed this before, but I didn't. Okay, I knew where this was before. I'll deal with that later. Okay. Make sure I'm not missing anything in the chats. Alright, I'm going to copy the Larry link, have that ready to go. Alright. Okay, I gotta get the straw in. And might actually help if I did this on multiple layers. Also, if I used the smoothing line, that would actually work better. Turn off the pen pressure again. I better turn that back on. Okay. This will be interesting. So. Okay. Now if I do this as a layer behind this, and then darken that.
I was trying to write no. Listen, when I finally left
All right. Sorry about the background. All right. All right. Uh, okay. So that's kind of a quick way to do the straw teeth. Um, I think it kind of works. It's not bad. All right. Let's turn off that. Let's flip it around. Um, Definitely like adding the stitching and shading for that is going to make a big difference, and also a better burlap kind of texture would be good. I think we could try to emulate that real quick. Even just like an occlusion brush would work. And then another layer for the stitching. Not the occlusion brush for it. You know, something like that. Definitely needs to be worked a bit better, but I think that kind of gives the idea. Okay, cool. So I love this guy. I think this is my favorite of the day. But pirate, pretty fun. I think there's other details I could kind of figure out if I feel like it. But I think just as a kind of quick idea that does work. The candy pile, perfect. I'll definitely do something to kind of make that feel more like a fun kind of like, you know, they just got back from their trick-or-treating and dumped their haul on the base here. That'd be perfect. Um, the ghost, I think it's going to be somewhere in between the two, um, where we have kind of like uh, this pretty good version and this version. I think it's going to be somewhere between the two, where it's like some of this and then it's just torn apart to show the teeth and stuff. But right now, this I think shows closer to parts that I want to show for that. This beam, I gotta fix. It's way too dark to be a laser beam. I don't know if I want to like carve out the hole here for it, but we'll see if I even remember. I don't have it on the goldfish. I don't think it needs it, so I don't think it needs to be here either. But like maybe a patch over top actually would be perfect for this. So where are you? This one? Scarecrow. Yeah, just kind of like down here how I'm gonna have like a different fabric kind of patched here. You know, kind of it makes it. Hey, don't try and eat my muffin. Makes it seem like yeah, it had used it while it was, you know, wearing the costume and destroyed part of it, so it had to be repaired. So that's pretty fun. All right, and then yeah, cool. So I have plenty to do still with this, but I think that's as far as I'm going to get today. Because I should probably start lunch before my meeting.
And I need to run off anyways, but I'm pretty sure we're in a good spot, and we have enough time to do the playback now. But first, I'm going to share the Larry link. So copy link. Yeah, I'll definitely make it feel like it's got more presence, like the Chrome version. Um, Light up the candy pile better, I think, would be nice. More glows and stuff. The lightning beam or the orange beam, totally different. And that should play nicely with the burlap kind of looking material too. That kind of orange glow above it, but then trying to still make it feel like it's underwater is going to be really interesting too. So that should be fun. I might try the seaweed thing. Could be good. All right, so let's see. Time lapse. Export time lapse. Let's see if this worked. Hope it did. Opening time lapse recording. Here we go. All right, so it is set to all. It wasn't a particularly long day, so it's not going to take forever to watch the whole thing, but here we go. Go through our exploration that we went through today. This is a fun one. I feel like, it with the goldfish idea, it could be also the anglerfish kind of chomping on a mouse, and then another one where it's a koi fish or something. So that could be fun. The sheet ghost. Yeah, yeah. The anglerfish was pretty fun. I can't make this any bigger, can I? Ooh, I can. Nice. The peg leg. The saber on its back. Did I keep the saber? I think I did. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on with that, so I might adjust that to kind of go off the side or move it somewhere so it's kind of got a better profile. Don't want to forget those gourds. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with where it's gone. And it got further than I expected, to be honest. The hot dog. Yes, the shark. Okay, the goldfish. Clear winner. Can't be beat. All right. Yeah, so it's nice to be able to catch up.
I can hear that she doesn't need to agree. Oh, her probably doesn't know.
All right.
Maybe then I broke up her. Yeah.
Gotta love the goldfish. Oh, it's interesting. I forget that it doesn't do the flip on the time lapse. It keeps it as it is naturally. So I wrote candy pile backwards. Yeah. All right. And now it's reset. But yeah. So that was the stream today. I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna pop out and have lunch and all that. So I hope you all have a good and safe weekend. I gotta go get ready for the work meeting. But yeah, happy hunting. Make sure to grab that Larry link in the chat. And I shall see you all probably in 2 weeks' time. So stay safe, and I'll see you then. All right. Bye.